Hello everyone, this is Nagaraj Rebba. So today I am going to discuss chemical equations lesson. In my last class I hope everyone are understood and in this class also I will give the very important subtopics which are present on the chemical equations lesson. So see here, first I am writing the board and after that I will explain that. So see here, chemical equations lesson. So in this chemical equations, in the last two classes, I explained so which are the subtopics are present on that lesson. So and in this class also, I will give the very important subtopics which are present on the chemical equation. So see here, I am writing first in the board, and after that I will explain these two subtopics. So the first one is called as here. I am saying that the balancing chemical equations. Balancing chemical equations. And the second one is called as here, making a chemical equation is making chemical equation is more informative. So these two subtopics are very important in our chemical equations lesson. See, the first one is called as a balancing chemical equation. Balancing chemical equation. And the second one is called as a making a chemical equation is more informative. Making a chemical equation is more informative. So these two subtopics in this class I am going to explain. So definitely I will give the clear information regarding these two subtopics. See, first I am going to discuss the first one is called as here. So balancing the chemical equations. So balancing the chemical equations. So before we are going to discuss these balancing the chemical equation, so just I will give the some information based on these balancing of a chemical equations. So when we are balancing any chemical equation, so compulsory you must follow some rules and regulations. So what are the rules and regulations when you are balancing the chemical equation means first I am saying that if you are balancing any chemical equation, compulsory that chemical equation will follow the law of conservation of a mass. So compulsory these balancing equation compulsory to follow the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of a mass. And what is the important of the second subtopic second important of these balancing chemical equations means when we are writing the chemical equation, so definitely the number of atoms present in the reactant side, so that is a compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. The number of atoms present in the reactant side, that is a compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. And at the same time, you know that law of conservation of a mass means we are not to create any energy. We are not to create any energy and we are not to destroy any energy. We are not to create any energy and we are not to destroy any energy. But that energy is converting into some different process is called as the law of conservation of a mass. We are not to create any energy. So the law of conservation of a mass means we are not to create any energy and we are not to destroy any energy, but that amount of energy is distributed into the different a process is called as a law of conservation of a mass. Suppose I will say the one example based on this law of conservation of a mass. You know that water molecule. So water molecule is nothing but a natural resource. That natural resource means we are not to create the water molecule and at the same time we are not to destroy the water molecule. But that water molecule we are using in our different process, in our different uses in our daily life. So therefore the type of examples are under the examples of the law of conservation of a mass. So compulsory, what I am saying that balancing of the chemical equations are compulsory follows the law of conservation of a mass, and at the same time what I am saying that so if we are saying that one equation is called as a balanced, so balanced means compulsory the number of atoms which are present on the reactant side. Suppose I am saying that here you will see I am writing one example. So carbon burns oxygen. So carbon burns the base of oxygen, it will produce the carbon dioxide. Here you will see what I am saying that so this total one is called as a reactants. So your arrow mark, this one is called as a arrow marker. Arrow mark, this one is called as a left hand side. Arrow mark left hand side, always you must write the reactants. and this is called as a arrow mark right hand side. So these right hand side always you must write that they are all called as a products. So this one is called as the right hand side. So means what I told that here, so if you are saying the balancing chemical equation means the number of atoms which are present on the reactant side. So this one is called as the reactant side. How many number of atoms are present on the reactant side? That one are compulsory equals to the product side also. That one are equals to the compulsory in the product side. Then that one is called as a balancing equation. And at the same time, this equation to follows the law of conservation of a mass. Law of conservation of a mass. And at the same time, here I am saying the very important point, how much amount of the reactants are participating in the reaction. How much amount of the reactants are participating in the reaction. That is a compulsory equals to the how much amount of the products are formed. How much amount of the reactants are present in the reaction, and at the same time how much amount of the product is formed in the reaction. So the both the weights are compulsory equal. So therefore then only we are saying that is called as a that the equation compulsory to follows the law of conservation of a mass. Means here, so if you are saying one equation is a balance, means compulsory number of atoms which are present on the reactant side, that is a compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. And at the same time, second identification of the given equation is called as a balance, means how much amount of the reactants are present, that much amount of the products are compulsory equal. So therefore that is called as a balance. So now you can see this is called as a, so here in the left hand side how many carbon atoms are there, means only one. And at the same time here in the right hand side also only one carbon atom is present. And at the same time here you will see how many oxygen atoms are present in the reactant side, means 2. And at the same time product side also how many oxygen atoms are there, means 2. So therefore number of atoms, here you will see total number of atoms 1 plus 2 means 3, and here also 1 plus 2 means 3. The total number of atoms are equal in the reactant side as well as the product side. And at the same time by the observation of the weights, here you will see carbon atomic number is 12. So carbon atomic number is 6. So mass number is 12. Carbon mass number is 12. By the observation of the oxygen, here the 2 oxygen atoms are there. Every oxygen atom, yes, atomic weight is 16. Here you will see 2 into 16. So then you will see here, this one is called as 12 and this one is called as 32. So here you will see, so carbon atomic number is 6 but mass number is 12. And here 2, yes, 2 into 16, every oxygen atom 16. So therefore this one is called as 32 and this one is called as 12. By the observation of the total amount of the weight is called as 44 grams in the reactant side. The total weight which is present in the reactant side is 44 grams. And what about in the product side, means in the product side also approximately will contain the 44 grams. In the product side also approximately will contain the 44 grams. Then we are saying that is called as a balancing of balancing equation. Then we are saying that is called as a balanced equation. Means compulsory you must identify how much amount of the reactants are present on the reactant side, and that is a compulsory equals to the product side. So therefore this one is called as a law of conservation of a mass. Law of conservation of a mass. So when we are going to discuss these balancing of the chemical equations. So sometimes we are writing the formula units. Formula units. So formula units means if suppose you are taking one formula, in that formula contains how many number of the units. How many number of the units? See here I am saying one example based on these formula unit. So by the writing of the one formula NaCl, sodium chloride. In this sodium chloride contains so 2 units, that is called as Na plus and Cl minus. Na plus and Cl minus. How many formula units are present on the NaCl, means here the 2 formula units are there. One is called as Na plus and the second one is called as Cl minus. In the formula of NaCl, how many formula units are there, means 2 formula units are there. One is called as Na plus, the second one is called as Cl minus. And at the same time here you will see, I am writing that one more example here. So one is called as MgCl2, magnesium, yes, magnesium bromide, MgBr2, magnesium bromide. In this magnesium bromide also, so how to these magnesium is dissociated with Mg2 plus plus 2Br minus, 2Br minus. Here you will see how many magnesium atoms are there, how many units of the magnesium atoms are there, means only 1 unit of the magnesium. Only 1 unit of the magnesium is present on the MgBr2, and how many units of the bromines are there, means 2 units of the bromines are present on the MgBr2. So therefore this one is called as a formula units of respective formulas or respective molecules. So by the observation of here I written as two examples. One is called as NaCl. So in this NaCl contains one Na plus and one Cl minus. So means one formula unit of Na plus and one formula unit of Cl minus. And at the same time here I written as one more example, that is called as MgBr2. In this MgBr2 also one magnesium, 1 mole of magnesium, and how many moles of the bromine are there means 2 units of the bromine is there. So therefore this one is called as a formula unit. So these formula unit is also called as one of the part of the balancing of the chemical equation. One of the part of the balancing of the chemical equations. So now you can see I am going to balance some equations. See here, I am writing here 2 or 3 examples. So the first one is called as here H2 plus O2 is gives rise to H2O. H2 plus O2 is gives rise to H2O. So this is called as a chemical equation. So first of all you will observe, so this chemical equation is a balanced equation or unbalanced equation. So generally by the observation of this one is called as a unbalanced equation. So this unbalanced equation we are naming, another name is called as a skeletal equation. Skeletal equation or skeletal equation. The unbalanced equation, another name is called as a skeletal equation or unbalanced equation. So in this unbalanced equation, how to balance the equation means by the adding of the suitable coefficients. By the adding of the suitable coefficients. See here, first you will count the left hand side. This is called as the left hand side, and this one is called as the right hand side. So generally left hand side is called as the reactants, and the right hand side is called as the products. So this one is called as the reactants part, and this one is called as the products part. Here you will see what I am saying that how many atoms are present on the reactant side. How many atoms are present on the reactant side? That number of atoms are compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present in the product side. Now you can see what I am saying that here. How many hydrogen atoms are there means here the number of hydrogen atoms are 2. And here how many oxygen atoms are there means here also the number of oxygen atoms are 2. And coming to the right hand side, that is called as the product side. So first I am writing the hydrogen atoms. How many hydrogen atoms are there means 2. And how many oxygen atoms are there means only 1. Here you will see, so number of hydrogen atoms both sides are equal, and the number of oxygen atoms are, so in this both sides are not equal. So therefore you better to balance the oxygen atoms in this equation. So by the balancing of the oxygen atoms you must add the suitable number of the atoms. See here, so what I am saying that here, by the observation of these equation, how many hydrogen atoms are there means 2, how many oxygen atoms are 2, but here the reactant side how many oxygen atoms are there means 1. So if you keep here better to 2, so then you will see 2 into 1 means 2 oxygen atoms are there, and here also 2 oxygen atoms are there, both sides oxygen atoms are balanced. And what about the hydrogen atoms here? So 2 into 2, 2 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4 means here only 2 are there. If you keep here 2, then both sides the number of atoms of hydrogen atoms are balanced. Now you can see in the reactant side I am writing that how many hydrogen atoms are there means 4 hydrogen atoms, and how many oxygen atoms are there means 2 oxygen atoms. In the product side how many hydrogen atoms are there means product side also number of hydrogen atoms are 4, and how many oxygen atoms are there here means so that is called as 2. Means in the initially we are identifying that number of atoms which are present on the reactant side, that is equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. So here you will see the number of atoms hydrogens are 4, oxygens are 2, and in the product side also hydrogens are 4, oxygen atoms are 2. Then the total number of atoms which are present on the reactant side, that is equals to the total number of atoms which are present on the product side. So then simply we are saying this is called as a balanced equation. This is called as a balanced equation. And at the same time you will see one more example I am explaining in this based on the chemical balancing of the chemical equation. See here, combustion of a propane. Combustion of propane. Combustion of a propane. See here, so combustion means it is nothing but burning. Combustion means it is nothing but a burning. So just like propane means the formula of the propane is a C3H8. The formula of the propane is a C3H8. So this is called as an organic compound. So these are C3H8 is called as a colorless liquid. This C3H8 is called as a colorless liquid, and at the same time odorless liquid. Colorless liquid and odorless liquid. So this is nothing but one of the important organic solvent. one of the important organic solvent. So by the burning of these organic solvent, burning means it is nothing but a combustion. Burning means it is nothing but a combustion. So simply what I am saying that this is called as a one of the organic substance. So these organic substance where we are using means simply we are using these organic substance by the fuel. By the fuel we are using, this is the propane. So now coming to the point, by the combustion of these propane in the presence of an oxygen atom. So what will happen means it will produce the carbon dioxide and as well as it will produce some amount of the water molecule. So these are all the products. So here, so the burning of the propane, so in the presence of oxygen atom it will produce the carbon dioxide and it will produce the water molecule. Now you can see by the observation of these chemical equation, so this is called as an unbalanced equation. These unbalanced equation we are calling as a skeletal equation. Unbalanced equation or a skeletal equation. So see here, number of carbon atoms are there in the reactant side means how many carbon atoms are there in the reactant side means 3. The number of carbon atoms which are present on the reactant side is 3. And how many hydrogen atoms are present on the reactant side, that is called as 8. And how many oxygen atoms are present on the reactant side, that is called as 2. Now you can see here, so in the right hand side how many carbon atoms are there means only 1. In the right hand side how many oxygen atoms, how many hydrogen atoms are there means here, simply we are writing that 2. In the how many oxygen atoms are there means here we are observing that number of oxygen atoms are 3. So see, by the observation of this chemical equation, here how many carbon atoms are there means in the reactant side 3. How many hydrogen atoms are there means 8. How many oxygen atoms are there means 2. In the product side also how many carbon atoms are means only 1. In the hydrogen atoms are 2 and oxygen atoms are 3. So by the observation of here, number of carbon atoms are here 3 but here 1. So this is the unbalanced. And how many hydrogen atoms are there means here 8 and here how many are there means 2. This is also unbalanced. And by the observation of the oxygen atoms here 2 but here 3. So this is also called as unbalanced. So therefore, better to balance this equation if you add the suitable coefficients, suitable number of the coefficients. In this suitable coefficients, simply what I am saying that first you will add the 2. First you can multiply with the 2 and after that if in case we are not getting the balancing of the equation, after that you will take the 4 and in the using of the 4 also we didn't get the balanced and then you can take the 6 and so on. If you take that 2, 4, 6 and so on numbers, so then easily we will balance that equation. So easily we will balance that equation. So therefore what I am saying that here, so this is called as a C3H8 plus O2. This gives rise to CO2 plus H2O. Here you will see how many carbon atoms are there in the reactant side means 3. So how many carbon atoms are there in the product side means 1. So therefore better to multiply with this 1 with the 3. So therefore here this 3 is called as a coefficient, suitable coefficient. And at the same time here you will see then here the number of carbon atoms are 3 and here the number of carbon atoms also 3. Now coming to the hydrogen atoms. Here how many hydrogen atoms are there means 8. So here better to multiply with the 4. Then here 4 2s are 8. So then here also the number of hydrogen atoms are 8. And next you will see oxygen atoms are here 3 2s are 6. 3 2s are 6 and here 4. So 6 plus 4 means 10. Here only 2 are there. If you multiply with this one is a 5. So then this is called as a balancing of the equation. See now you can see here how many carbon atoms are there means 3. How many carbon atoms are there here means 3. And here how many hydrogen atoms are there means 8. Here 4 into 2, 4 2s are 8. And here also 8 and here also 8. And coming to the oxygen atoms, 5 2s are 10 and here 3 2s are 6. And here 4 1s are 4. And 6 plus 4 means 10. So therefore this is called as a balanced equation. This one is called as a balanced equation. And the entire this equation is multiplied with the 2. Then you can write 2C3H8 plus 10O2. This gives rise to here 6CO2 plus here 8H2O. So this is also called as a balancing of this equation. So why I multiplied with here 2 means these are all the nothing but just like odd numbers. So that's why that odd numbers simply we will multiply with 2. Then we are getting this is the total one is called as even numbers. Then this total one is called as even numbers. And at the same time, so this one is called as a simple ratio. Simple ratio. So that's why this one is also correct balancing of the equation, and this one is also called as a correct balancing of the equation. and the both the equations are balancing equations, sir. So therefore this is called as a balancing of a combustion of a propane. Balancing of a combustion of a propane. What I am saying that first, when we are balancing any chemical equation, so compulsory we will observe, so how many atoms are present on the reactant side. So that one is the compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. First of all you will write how many atoms are present on the reactant side, and after that you will compare with the product side. In both sides the number of atoms are equal or not, and then you can multiply it with the suitable integer value. That suitable integer value. So what I am saying that which is suitable integer value you will take means, simply I am saying that even numbers you will multiply. So even numbers means you know that 2 and 4 and 6 and so on, that numbers are, so by the multiplying of that numbers easily we will get the balancing equation. Or otherwise if we take the odd numbers, it will take the more steps and yes, a more lengthy process. That's why better to take the odd, yes, even numbers. By the taking of the even numbers easily we will balance that chemical equation. And then you can see next I am going to discuss one more chemical equation. So see that what is that one more balancing equation is here. Fe2O3. So Fe2O3 means it is called as iron oxide. Fe2O3 means iron oxide. So these iron oxide is react with aluminium. So it will give rise to, yes, aluminium oxide plus iron. Aluminium oxide plus iron. See, by the observation of these reactions, so this simply what I am saying that this one is called as a arrow mark. So in this left hand side this is called as the reactants, and the right hand side this one is called as the products. So by the observation of the reactant side, how many iron atoms are there means here 2, and what about here, number of iron atoms are here only 1. And see here how many oxygen atoms are there means here the 3 oxygen atoms are there, and here how many oxygen atoms are there means here also 3 oxygen atoms are there. And what about here how many, yes, aluminium atoms are there means here only 1 aluminium atom is there, and here how many aluminium atoms are there means here the total number of the aluminium atoms are the 2. See here number of iron atoms here the left hand side is the 2, but right hand side is the only 1. So therefore better to multiply with the suitable integer with the iron. And at the same time by the observation of the aluminium, here only left hand side only 1 aluminium is there, but right hand side how many aluminiums are there means 2 aluminiums are there. In this side also definitely you will multiply with the suitable integer. You will multiply with the suitable integer. So that's why we are going to balancing this equation. See here I am balancing this equation. So first you will balance the iron. So by the balancing of the iron, let's say here you will see Fe2O3 plus aluminium is gives rise to, here I am writing that Al2O3. Al2O3 plus here how many irons are there means 2. So therefore better to multiply this one is 2. So then here 2 iron atoms are there, and here also 2 iron atoms are there. Means in the left hand side and right hand side both sides the number of iron atoms are balanced. In the left hand side and right hand side both sides the number of iron atoms are balanced. And coming to the next one is called as the aluminium. Here you will see in the next step I am writing that Fe2O3 plus here how many aluminium atoms are there means only 1, but here how many are there means 2. Then here this one I am multiplying with the 2, then 2Al is gives rise to here Al2O3 plus 2Fe. So now you can see here how many iron atoms are there in the reactant side means 2, how many oxygen atoms are there in the reactant side is 3, how many aluminium atoms are there in the reactant side is called as 2. Now you can compare with the product side also. Here how many iron atoms are there means 2, and how many aluminium atoms are there means it is 2, and how many oxygen atoms are there means it is called as 3. So means the number of iron atoms in the both the sides are equal, and the number of oxygen atoms in the both sides are equal, and the number of aluminium atoms also in the both sides are equal. So therefore this one is called as the balancing of the chemical equation. So balancing of the chemical equation. When we are writing any balancing of the any unbalanced equation, first of all we will observe how many atoms are present on the reactant side. First, how many atoms are present on the reactant side, and that many atoms are compulsory equals to the product side. And at the same time, so when we are balancing that chemical equation, so yes, which side is the deficient side? the number of atoms is deficient side, in that particular side you can multiply with the suitable integer values. That integers particularly you will take only even numbers. By the multiplying of the even numbers, easily we will get the balancing of that equation. Easily we will balance that equation. And at the same time here you will see I am writing some balancing equations here. Suppose you will see here I am writing that one equation KCl O3 is gives rise to, simply we are writing this is called as a KCl plus O2. So by the observation of these spherical equation, this is also called as an unbalanced equation. These spherical equation is also called as an unbalanced equation. So therefore, better to balance these unbalanced equation. Here this is called as the reactant side. How many potassiums are there means 1. And this is called as the product side. How many potassiums are there means 1. And here how many chlorine atoms are there means 1. And here how many chlorine atoms are there means 1. And how many oxygen atoms are there in the reactant side means 3. And what about the product side means only 2. So therefore, better to balance here number of oxygen atoms. So there, here if you multiply with this equation with the 2, and then here also you will multiply with this equation 2, and here also you will take this one is called as a 3. Then you will see 2 potassiums are there, and here also 2 potassiums are there. And here the 2 chlorine atoms are there, and here also 2 chlorine atoms are there. And here 2 into 3, 2 3s are 6 oxygen atoms are there, and here also 3 2s are 6 oxygen atoms are there. Means the number of atoms which are present on the reactant side, that is the compulsory equals to the number of atoms which are present on the product side. So therefore, that one is called as a balancing of the chemical equations. So this is called as the balancing of the chemical equations. And then I am going to discuss one more subtopic. So that is called as here. What is the next one is called as making a chemical equation is making a chemical equation is a more informative. Making a chemical equation is a more informative. So making a chemical equation is a more informative. So in this making a chemical equation is mainly divided into just like that. Making a chemical equation is making a chemical equation is a more informative. So this one is expressing into the some characteristic properties. What are the characteristic properties? Means the first one is called as a here. In this first one is called as a gas environment. So the first one is called as a physical state. And the second one is called as a gas environment. And the third one is called as a here heat changes. And the fourth one is called as a here so heat changes. So see here, the first one is called as a physical state, and the second one is called as a gas evolved, and the third one is called as a heat changer, and the fourth one is called as a precipitate. So these four characteristic properties are very important. That's why they are saying that making a chemical equation is more informative. Making a chemical equation. If you are preparing any chemical equation, if you are made any chemical equation, definitely you must follow these four characteristic properties. These are four characteristic properties. One is called as a physical state, and the second one is called as a gas evolved, and the third one is called as a heat changes, and the fourth one is called as a precipitate formed, and the fourth one is called as a precipitate formed. See, one by one I will explain these four important properties. So the first one is called as a physical state. If you are writing any chemical equation, definitely first of all we will identify the physical states of the chemical equation. See here I am writing that one chemical equation. Here carbon burns in the presence of oxygen atom, it will produce the carbon dioxide. Carbon burns in the presence of oxygen atom. So carbon burns in the presence of oxygen atom, it will produce the carbon dioxide. So what is the physical state of the carbon here means the physical state of the carbon atom is a solid. And what is the physical state of the oxygen atom means here? The physical state of the oxygen atom is a G. And what is the physical state of the carbon dioxide means here the physical state of the carbon dioxide is also called as a G. So means simply you know that what are the three important physical properties means one is called as a solid state, second one is called as a liquid state, and the third one is called as a gaseous state. Gaseous state. Here you will see solids simply we are writing as a small s, and liquids simply we are writing as a L in the closed brackets, and the gases simply we are writing as a G and the closed brackets. If the substance is dissolved on the water molecule, if the substance is dissolved in the water molecule, so therefore that substance we are calling as aqueous. That substance we are calling as aqueous. These aqueous simply we are writing as a AQ closed brackets. AQ closed brackets. Now you can see here this is called as a solid material. So that's why in closed brackets we are writing as a solid. So in this closed bracket S is indicating as a carbon is a solid. And at the same time the closed bracket G is indicating as a gas. G is indicating as a gas. And in this closed bracket G is indicating as a gas. So carbon burns in the presence of oxygen atom, it will produce the carbon dioxide. And at the same time physical states, we have the three important physical states are there. One is called as the solid state, second one is called as the liquid state, and the third one is called as the gaseous state, fourth one is called as a aqueous. So in the solid state means simply in the closed bracket you will write the S. In the liquid state means simply in the closed bracket you will write the L. In the gaseous state means simply you will write the G in the closed bracket. And at the same time what I am saying that if the substance or if the material is dissolved on the water molecule, if the material is dissolved in the water molecule, so definitely that that material we are calling as aqueous. In that aqueous we are writing as a AQ in the closed brackets. So therefore this one is called as a physical states of the equation. This one is called as the physical states of the equation. I will write one more example here. So just like we written just now. So what is that example means? Iron oxide Fe2O3 is called as iron oxide. So generally this iron oxide is react with aluminium. It will give rise to aluminium oxide plus iron. Aluminium oxide plus iron. Here you will see iron oxide. Iron oxide is called as a physical state of the iron oxide is called as a solid. And what about the aluminium? Aluminium is also called as a solid. And what about here the aluminium oxide means this one is also called as a solid. And here the iron is also called as a solid. Means in the entire equation, this entire equation is present on the solid state only. Iron oxide and aluminium, aluminium oxide and iron. Here the iron oxide is solid in the state, and aluminium is a physical state is solid, and at the same time aluminium oxide physical state is also called as a solid, and here the iron physical state is also called as a solid. And at the same time next one we are going to discuss the next one is called as a gas evolved. Gas evolved. Second one is called as a gas evolved. Here you will see gas evolved means it is nothing but a liberation of a gas. See, here I am writing that one example, zinc. So zinc metal react with the hydrochloric acid. Zinc metal react with hydrochloric acid. It will produce the ZnCl2 plus here the hydrogen gas is liberated. Hydrogen gas is liberated. Here you will see these are upward arrow mark is indicating as a liberation of a gas. Liberation of a gas, or simply we are writing this one is called as a releasing of a gas. These are upward arrow mark is indicating as a liberation of a gas or a releasing of a gas. Liberation of a gas or releasing of a gas by the observation of these equation. So zinc metal is react with the hydrochloric acid. So then it is forming as a ZnCl2 plus H2. ZnCl2 plus H2. Here the hydrogen gas is liberated from this equation. Hydrogen gas is liberated from this equation. So therefore compulsory we must mention that so the upward arrow mark is indicating as a liberation of a gas. The upward arrow mark is indicating as a liberation of a gas. Here we will see one more equation I am writing based on this one. So in this example, suppose you will see carbon burns in the presence of oxygen atom. It will produce the carbon dioxide. So in this example also we are writing the upward arrow mark. So this upward arrow mark is indicating as a liberation of a carbon dioxide gas. And finally I am saying that if you are writing the upward arrow mark, that upward arrow mark is a compulsory indicating as a releasing of a gas. So therefore this is called as a gas evolved. And next I am going to discuss So third one is heat change. Third one is called as a heat change. So heat change. I am saying two important points here. Heat change. We have the two types of equations are there. One is called as a exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. And the second one is called as a endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction. One is called as exothermic reaction, and the second one is called as a endothermic reaction. So exothermic reaction means it is called as a releasing of heat. A releasing of heat is called as exothermic reaction. A releasing of heat is called as a exothermic reaction, and absorption of heat energy. Absorption of heat energy is called as a, yes, what is that? Endothermic reaction. So we have that two types of reactions are there. One is called as exothermic reaction, and the second one is called as endothermic reaction. Here the exothermic reaction means it is called as a releasing of a heat energy. Releasing of a heat energy or emission of a heat energy. Releasing of a heat energy or emission of a heat energy. So therefore that is called as our exothermic reaction. And endothermic reaction means the absorption of heat energy. The absorption of heat energy is called as a endothermic reaction. See here I am writing that I am writing one equation. C plus O2 is gives rise to CO2. C plus O2 is gives rise to CO2. Here we are writing that plus Q. Plus Q. Here the Q is indicating as a heat change. Q is representing as a heat change. Q is representing as a heat change. Here you will see what I written here. So positive charge. In the right hand side, positive charge, we will write the Q. In the right hand side, positive charge, we will write the Q. So it is indicating as a loss of heat energy, or a releasing of heat energy, or a emission of heat energy. Emission of heat energy. So see here, right hand side, in this right hand side, positive sign and positive sign at the same time Q. So positive Q is indicating as the emission of heat energy. So emission of heat energy means it is nothing but simply we are saying this one is called as a exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. This is called as a simple identification of the exothermic reaction. Simple identification of the exothermic reaction. What I am saying that in the right hand side we are writing the positive Q. Q means it is nothing but a symbolical representation of heat energy. Q means it is nothing but a symbolical representation of a heat energy. In this reaction, right hand side we written as a positive Q. So positive sign means it is nothing but a loss of electrons. Positive sign means it is nothing but a loss of electrons. But in this equation, so plus Q means it is nothing but a loss of heat energy. Loss of heat energy. And at the same time, loss of heat energy or emission of heat energy means it is nothing but a exothermic reaction. This type of reactions are called as a exothermic reactions. And the next one is called as a, here I am writing that one more equation. So here, so N2 plus O2 is gives rise to 2NO. N2 plus O2 is gives rise to 2NO. Here I am writing that minus Q. Here I am writing that minus Q. So these are minor charges indicating as a absorption of heat energy. Absorption of heat energy. So absorption of heat energy means it is nothing but just like a endothermic reaction. Absorption of heat energy. See here, N2 plus O2 is gives rise to 2NO. N2 plus O2 is gives rise to 2NO. And here what I mentioned that minus Q. So minus Q means it is nothing but just like a gain of heat energy. So gain of heat energy. So gain of heat energy means it is nothing but just like a absorption of heat energy. Absorption of heat energy. Absorption of heat energy means this one is called as a endothermic equation. Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction. Here the positive sign means this called as exothermic. Positive sign means exothermic. And here the negative sign means endothermic. If they are writing any chemical equation, so in the last means the right hand side of the chemical equation, compulsory they will mention the positive sign or negative sign. So if they are mentioning the positive sign, that positive sign is representing as a just like a exothermic reaction. If they are mentioning the negative sign, that negative sign is indicating as a endothermic reaction. This is the very important symbolical representation and identification of the exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction. And the next one I am going to discuss. Last one, that is called as the precipitator.
precipitate formed. Here you can see precipitate formed means simply I am writing that one equation. Here AgNO3 silver nitrate. AgNO3 react with NaCl. AgNO3 react with NaCl. It is forming as a AgCl plus NaNO3. NaNO3. Here simply you will see in the AgCl is a downward arrow mark. So these downward arrow mark is indicating as a simply this one is called as a precipitate. Simply we are writing these precipitate is called as a PPT. Precipitate is called as a PPT. So these are downward arrow mark. By the writing of these downward arrow mark, it is indicating as a precipitate. Here the silver nitrate is react with the sodium chloride. Then it is forming as a silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. In this silver chloride, we are writing as a downward arrow mark. So by the writing of these downward arrow mark, it is indicating as a precipitate. Simply we are writing this precipitate is a PPT. PPT means it is nothing but a precipitate. And at the same time here I am saying that these precipitate is not dissolved on the water molecule. These precipitate does not dissolve on the water molecule. So therefore simply we are calling that is called as a undissolved in the water molecule. So therefore that one is called as a precipitate. See here in this in this class I discussed so two important subtopics. One is called as the balancing of the chemical equations, and the second one is called as the making of a chemical equation is more informative. And at the same time in this class I will give the some homework. Yes, I will give the some worksheet. So compulsory you must do that worksheet, that is a homework. So by the worksheet is very important. I will give the some balancing equations. So compulsory you must practice the balancing equations. See here, this one is called as a homework. So the first equation is NaOH plus H2SO4 is gives rise to Na2SO4 plus H2O. So this is called as one of the unbalanced equation or skeletal equation. You must balance this equation. This is called as a homework. And I am writing that one more equation here. So what is that equation? Means C6H12O6 plus here I am writing that gives rise to C2H5OH plus carbon dioxide. This is also called as one more equation. And the third one is called as here I am writing that NH3 plus Cl2 is gives rise to NH4Cl plus N2. NH4Cl plus N2. And the fourth equation, I am giving the one more equation here, the homework. So that is called as a CO2 plus water molecule. CO2 plus water molecule will give rise to C6H12O6 plus O2. So these four questions are very important, and these four questions are homework. So compulsory you must practice these four equations. So this is called as a homework. So these all equations are called as a skeletal equations. Skeletal equations means it is nothing but unbalanced equations. You must balance these unbalanced equations. So this is called as a homework. So thank you very much.